Okay, here's a question that makes you remember how to do lines and sort of includes that with trigonometry. So the question said, find sine, cos, and tan. So I'm looking for sine theta, cos theta, tan theta. Okay, and so they say that the angle is defined by this line. Well, if I want to know where that line is, this is a line like y equals mx plus b, but in this case the b value, there isn't one, so we assume it to be 0. So it'll cross there, and the slope is -8. So I could go, that's rise over run, right? So I could go up 8 and over 1, or I could go down 8 and over 1 the other way. Or I could go up from this one, I could go up another 8 and then over 1. I can't really put that dot on there because the scale isn't enough there. So these are some points that I could use. At any rate, my line will look something like this. So there's my line. And if I'm talking about an angle, so this would be my angle, and I'm not sure what that is. I don't think you need to know that. But this would be my reference angle. And anything that I draw here, I'm going to draw a triangle. So you can go from any point on this line straight down to the x-axis. So this value here will be x, and this value will be y. And then the line, that will be r. So I know what that point is right there. That point is -1 and 8. Okay, -1 and 8. And it turns out that I could have used -2 and 16. They'll all be in the same ratio. But what that gives me is an x value and a y value. So I could right off the bat tell you what tan is, because tan is y over x. Tan theta is y over x. So y is 8 and x is -1. So the tangent of that angle, of this angle, or of that angle, is equal to 8 divided by -1, -8. I could write it as -8 over 1 if I wanted to. Notice also that in this quadrant here, tan is negative, and what we came up with held true for that. Okay, now we need to do cos theta and sine theta. So sine theta is y over r. I know y is 8 over, I don't know what r is. Oh, but I can use Pythagoras, right? So I have x squared plus y squared equals r squared. X is -1 squared plus y is 8 squared is equal to r squared. So this would be 1 plus 64, or 65 is r squared. So r is plus or minus root 65. But it's not going to be negative because radiuses are always positive. So this r value can go right there, root 65. Now, like before, typically we don't like a root 65 on the bottom, so we'll multiply the top and the bottom by root 65. On the top, it'll stay as 8 root 65. Run out of room. And on the bottom, root 65 times root 65 would just be 65. So there's what sine theta is equal to. And the last one, cos theta, I'll do the same thing. It's x over r. Oh, also notice this is positive, and sine in that quadrant is positive. Okay, cos x is -1 over r, I just figured out, root 65. Do the same game as we did right there. So multiply top and bottom by root 65. So I'm going to get -root 65 over 65. There would be my cosine of that angle. Okay, hopefully that helps.